The EU is losing credibility over its stance in Gaza, having failed to sanction Israel for its offensive there, say legal and political experts. As Israel continues to pummel the Palestinian enclave, and with the death toll among civilians, in particular children, rising by the hour, the EU stands accused of being selective in its defence of international law. Israel started its offensive in October after a Hamas terrorist attack killed over 1,200 Israelis and abducted over 250 people. Israel is now being investigated for genocide, extermination and starvation of civilians, among other things.
I think on Gaza, the EU has scored a very transparent and dramatic fail in terms of being able to assert that it has been the upholder of international law, of the rule of law, that there is any semblance even of consistency in its position. And I think it has lost a lot of ground in the global majority, global south. We remember during the first year of the Ukraine war that there was a lot of talk about, why isn't the rest of the world more with us? How do we get that global floating vote? I don't think anyone even thinks in those terms anymore, because the approach towards Gaza, led by President Ursula von der Leyen, has made that claim impossible.
A recent opinion by the International Court of Justice says Israel's occupation of the West Bank and East Jerusalem is illegal, and it should evacuate its settlers and pay reparations to the Palestinians.
Have to be true to ourselves, to our own principles. We say all the time the rule of law, international law, humanitarian law, protection of human rights. These principles are universal, and they apply to the South China Sea as well as to Ukraine and to the Middle East. You cannot have a selective understanding of what are the rulings or the opinions of the International Court.
EU foreign policy requires unanimous decision-making, so even if a majority of EU member states wanted to apply sanctions against Israel for alleged breaches of international law, it would require all countries to support it. The EU therefore has limited influence when it comes to the Middle East. However, there is a consensus on the need for a two-state solution for a lasting peace and a ceasefire in Gaza. Shona Murray, Euronews, Brussels.